here we are with lesson 12B today, writing functions for linear models. Basically today we will be looking at word problems and figuring out the equations that go with them. This is really nothing new. Yet again, we're looking for where it starts and then how it changes. Today it's just going to be given to us in words. You will see that I have the lovely calculator here today so that I can show you how to work these things out even if you can't do this in your head. So let's zoom in here. Let's look at number one. The total cost of an order of shirts from a company consists of the cost of each shirt plus a one-time fee. So we know it's the cost of each shirt plus the one-time fee. So that should sound familiar. The one-time fee has to be charged no matter what. Don't mind that bell. I am recording this during the day. The cost of each shirt is the same regardless of how many shirts are ordered. So we know our total cost. Let's call Y, cost. That's our total cost, is going to be equal to our one-time fee, our fee, plus the cost per shirt. Cost per shirt. And because it's the cost per shirt, it depends on how many shirts we buy will tell us our total cost. So we're going to write that over here, the cost per shirt, and we know the amount of shirts can change, so let's call that X. So the total cost is going to be Y, the cost per shirt will be multiplied by X. And so that should look a little bit familiar. It's kind of like our Y equals MX plus B, because it's a starting amount plus a change. So the company provides the following examples to customers to help them estimate the total cost of an order of shirts. So it says 35 shirts cost $240. 35 shirts cost a total of $240 at the end of the day. So I'm going to write shirts, and cost, though it is set up like an X and Y table. So 35 shirts cost $240. We could put on the 0.00 there. And 125 shirts costs $600. All right, so it says based on the examples, what is the cost of each shirt, not including the one-time design fee, and what is the cost of the one-time design fee? So basically, part B says what is the cost of the one-time design fee? That's the starting amount, and then we have to add on the cost per shirt. So let's look and see what's the change here. What's the difference between 35 shirts and 125 shirts? So this should look familiar. We're going to be finding the change in cost per shirt, the change in cost per shirt. So if you can't do that in your head, you should be able to, but that's why the lovely calculator is here. So we can do 600, take away 240, just so that we can check and make sure, okay, that change was 360. So it was an extra $360 for how many extra shirts? Well, let's see. We had 125 in that second order and 35 in the first order, so the change in shirts is 90. So for 90 more shirts, we had to pay $360 more. So what would that change be? Well, if we put $360 over 90 shirts, and we divide, again, you should be able to do that in your head, but just in case, we have this lovely calculator here. 360 divided by 90 tells me that I get 4. So what does that tell me? Well, it was $4 per shirt. So for 90 more shirts, it costs $360 more dollars. So that means it was $4 per shirt. So this says what is the cost of each shirt, not including the one-time fee. So that's $4 per shirt. Okay, but that's not all they charged, because if I had $4 per shirt, let's just try with 35 shirts. So I'm going to clear this and clear all. So if I had 35 shirts and they cost $4 each, I should have only paid $140, but I didn't. I had to pay $240. What about 125 shirts? If I had 125 shirts times the $4 per shirt, I should have gotten $500, but instead I got $600. So hopefully you're seeing what that extra cost was, that little extra amount they were charging each time, and we can actually figure that out by using Y equals MX plus B. So we know that for $240, we paid $4 per shirt for 35 shirts. We need to figure out what that starting fee was. So that's how we do this. So $240 was our total cost. $4 per shirt for 35 shirts would have been $140. 140 plus the fee. So in order to figure out that fee, I'm going to subtract that 140 from my total amount, and we see that that starting fee was $100. So they asked for $100 just to design it, and then they only charged $4 per shirt after that. Let's go ahead and write a function here, an equation. So that means y would equal 4x plus 100. Okay, so this is that method, that y equals mx plus b method that we had seen in the last lesson. Let's see if that still works for this gym membership problem. So again, we see there's a total cost. Let me clear this calculator. We see there is a total cost of a gym membership at Lifestyle Fit consists of the cost of each month plus a one-time enrollment fee. And you'll actually see this in places. They will charge a one-time enrollment fee. There's the fee plus the monthly cost, And since that changes per month, and that will equal our total, since this monthly cost will be multiplied by the number of months we go, that's the one that gets the x. And so we can consider this like kind of backwards, b plus mx equals y, right? So y is our total, m is multiplied by x, so our monthly cost times the number of months we go, and then that one-time startup fee. So let's go ahead and set up a table here where we have the number of months that we go to the gym and our total cost. All right, so it says for 8 months, our cost would be $365. For 15 months, our total cost would be $645. And so we've got to use this to figure out, there's that bell again. Sorry about that. Just ignore it. All right, so we've got to use what they've given us to figure out what they're charging us every month and what that enrollment fee was. Basically, it's our slope and our y-intercept. We're always finding the same thing. So let's see the change in the cost. So the change in the cost from 365 to 645. Again, if you'd like to just use the calculator for these things, that's okay. 645 minus 365 tells me that that change in cost there was $280. For how many more months? Again, you should be able to do this in your head, but just in case there is that calculator, the change in months was 7. So for 7 more months, we paid an extra $280. So I'm going to go ahead and write that as a slope because that's what it is. It's change. It's the change in the cost per the number of months. And so when we divide 280 by 7, we end up getting 40. So that's going to be our total change in cost for each additional month. So we paid an extra $40 for each month after that. All right, so let's go ahead and figure out what our beginning startup fee was. So all we do is plug that in. Y equals mx plus b. I'm going to choose the one with smaller numbers because, hey, why not? If I can choose, I might as well pick the one with smaller numbers. So we have 365 would equal our change, which was 40 per month for 8 months, plus whatever that initial fee was, that startup fee. So that tells me I paid a total of $365, but the monthly cost should have only given me $320. So what was that initial fee? What was that initial setup fee? Well, let's take out that $320 that we know we paid for those months, and that gives us $45. And so that tells me the initial one-time enrollment cost was $45 to set it up, and after that, it was $40 per month. Don't forget the per on the change for every month. So $45 plus 40 per month. So that tells me the equation for this gym would be 40x plus 45. Let's see if that works out for that other one. Since we have the calculator up here, let's see, for 15 months, which is right there, for 15 months, multiplied by 40 for the month would be 600, and add in that original startup cost of $45, and oh yeah, we do get that 645 amount. All right, so that's how we do it. We find the change in y and the change in x, and we look for the b. This is the same thing every time. So let's see if we can go a little faster. I'm only going to go through one more of these because here's a hint. This last question is your journal this week, so make sure that you copy that one down in journals. So here's the last one I'll do with you. Let's look at, this is the same gym, but it looks like they changed their amounts. So let's go ahead and set that up just in a table. I'm just going to call it X and Y this time. So for 6 months, the total cost was $259.94. For 14 months, it was $499.86. Because of course they couldn't use pretty numbers. They had to use these decimals, but that's okay. We got a calculator, no issue. 499.86 minus 259.94 cents means that change for those months was 239.92. All right, so my M would be change in Y, 239.92. For how many additional months? Well, from 6 to 14 would be 8 additional months. And so we need to go ahead and divide that. So let's take that answer. Oh my goodness, how many bells are we going to hear? Let's take that answer, 239.92, and divide that by the 8 additional months, which means they were charging $29.99 a month. Now that's more like it. That's a more reasonable cost, like you'll see at different gyms. They don't ever end up charging a perfect value, so we have to get used to using decimals. All right, so that tells me the cost of each month was $29.99 per month. And let's figure out that startup fee by plugging in what we know. Remember, we can plug it into y equals mx plus b. Let's choose one of the y values, one of the total costs. Let's see, let's choose this one because it has smaller numbers. So that would be $259.94 would equal the cost per month, $29.99, times the number of months, 6 months, plus whatever that startup fee was. And I'll just call that fee so that we can see where it is. All right, so that means we would have $259.94 would equal, let's take that $29.99 and multiply it by 6 months. Gives me $179.94 plus whatever that startup fee was. Now to figure out the startup fee, let's take out what we know we paid for those months minus $179.94. And let's see what that one-time startup fee was. I'm going to hit enter here. And let's see. Let's clear that and do $259.94 minus what we paid for the months right there, $179.94. And we get 80, which means that is our startup fee. So that means we paid $80 just to join and $29.99 per month after that. So if we were to write an equation for this situation, it would be $29.99 per month. Don't forget per month there, plus the $80 startup fee. All right, go ahead and make sure that you try the exit ticket for this one. And don't forget your journal over there in the comfy corner of the room. Don't forget to write that out because you know it will be on the quiz this week. Good luck, and always ask me if you have questions.